Okay, continuing on. So we have our reference set up. We're ready to start with our walk cycles. Our timeline's correct according to our reference images here. I'm going to start in the side view. I'm going to turn this X-ray view off. So this foot is planted on the ground. When you're doing the side view right here, sometimes it's hard to kind of see these lines. So let me turn this to reference so you won't be selecting it. Sometimes I actually work in perspective and side, and I wouldn't suggest doing a walk cycle in perspective, but I would suggest having maybe the window open so you can kind of see. So take X-ray off. Because sometimes whenever I'm selecting certain things, instead of selecting it in this view, I'll select it in this view. So I want to set this foot up here, and I can't really, I don't know where my selectors are, but I can select here. So now I know that I'm in the right. So, okay, so I need to move the knee forward a little bit, or actually the whole body needs to come down, I think, to kind of give me that pivot right there. That foot's forward. I'm going to move this guy back, move him up. What I'm going to do is I am going to tilt the wheel. There we go. I'm not going to use this foot roll just because your rig may not have this foot roll, but you should have a toe roll in whatever you got rigged up. So I'm going to select the toe roll. Or you will have a toe roll controller there with if you did the previous tutorial with the rig, which will work the same way with this toe roll. I'm going to use my attribute right there. So yeah, that looks good. Now I'm not going to mess with my hands here, and reason being is because you could go ahead and put them into position, but honestly, sometimes whenever I'm knocking these things out, I'd like to go ahead and just do the legs, and then basically I'll go back and do the hands. So I'm going to leave my hands in that position, just key them like that, so they'll always kind of go up. So you'll see what I'm talking about here in a little bit, and that doesn't necessarily have to be how you do it. You could work. This is solely for the feet right now. So I'm going to look at that, and then I'm going to actually kind of look at the front view just to make sure. I think they need to be in a little bit. Maybe the knee could be out a little bit. Cool. That is a good starting position right there. The legs are kind of posed. There's a little bit more of a bend in mine, but I'm not really being too stickler about it. Could bring it back some. It would kind of, there we go. Cool. All right, so this is going to be this first taking off keyframe. So let's go key this thing. So I'm going to select everything. Ooh, my geometry. Why is my geometry in the game? I don't need that. There we go. It got off the reference over here. You don't want to select your geometry. I only want to key all these controllers. I want to key them all, so I selected them all. So I'm going to press S. We did it. Now, what I like to do is go to the other side, basically the complete opposite of that pose right there. So that's going to be about frame 100. So I am just going to switch the actual legs kind of position of what they are now. So I'll select this one. I'm going to return the toe roll. Start moving this guy back. I'll move a little bit. That's probably going to come back to bite me in the butt. There we go. Press S. So now you can kind of see I've got the, it looks like he's skiing. So let me do my in-between now. So this is probably going to be my most highest. If you notice the head on the reference image, it kind of goes up. That's about as high as it goes right there. It may not necessarily be like right in the middle or half of 45 and 100, whatever this frame was right there. You can make it in between, but my reference image is kind of about right there. So we'll call it 75. So let's find this pose really right here. So on 75, basically, this left foot is going to be lifted up, and this foot's going to be planted on the ground, in other words. And it doesn't really have to be necessarily that bent because the body needs to raise up some. I'm going to flatten my toe roll out. So I'm going to lift my guy up some. My foot needs to swing, but not going through the ground. There we go. All right, let's key this, see what it'll look like. Well, it's not too bad. Oh no, we want to cancel that. Actually, I better save this while I'm thinking about it. This is my new walk tutorial. Cool. So we basically have everything we need except for this pose right here. We need that other in between because honestly, this frame right here can be mirrored or be cut and pasted that. But let's go ahead and knock this frame out. So we're looking at our reference image. That's about the tallest. What he is right there, about 128. Cool. So this one will go back. And this one is going to be the one with the extreme. I'm giving him kind of a nice little turn. I'm also bending the body up. Now it looks like my reference model is kind of leaning forward a little bit. I'm not going to do that yet. I just want to get these feet right. So that looks good there. Press S. Lift up. Plant down. I'm going to lift up on the right leg. Cool. Now let's take this set of keyframes right here. Let's copy these. Let's paste them. Very slowly. And if you want to give it more exaggerated, you know, you can shift these ankles back a little bit more. like right here, for this in between. You could tilt that back a little bit more. You just don't want to hit that ground plane. Which usually what means it will have like a faster slap up. Yeah, see, it's going through my ground plane right there, so probably wasn't a great idea to do that. I'm going to do that. Cool. So that is the legs, everybody. And obviously it's running kind of slow in terms of, you know, the reference model, which we'll fix here in a little bit. It's like slow motion. Yeah, it's looking pretty good. Let's look at the front. I know there were some adjustments we probably need to make to the front of it. Yeah, I need to scoot probably scoot this in a little bit more. Show my knee controllers. Notice whenever I'm rekeying this, I'm rekeying everything just to make sure. Yeah, I don't mind it sliding back. It's just the slide to the left I don't really like. Okay, that's fine. That's because I moved it in right there. Nice. All right, that's the legs. The next video I'm going to do the hands and the body. So thanks for watching.